Okay, so let's continue on with more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. I was hoping to do this like, what, about an hour and a half earlier than normal, but I had everything all ready to go, and then YouTube decided, hey, my upload is going to take an hour and 10 minutes extra, so here we are. I waited the hour and 10 minutes, I reset everything up to make sure it was all okay, and we're now back with this. So, not as much time as I normally would have, probably, but we'll see how it goes. This should be, hopefully we can get through the first trial. Or the second trial, I should say, not the first trial. The second trial of the second game. Let's just get things, just make sure everything works first. We saved literally right at the start of like the very first pressing of the statement. So there's a chance that we could get it done if it's about 3 hours, but I highly doubt that. We'll just have to hope that everything works out. That's pretty much it, really. Like, I would have liked to have started much sooner, but, yeah, as I said, I had everything ready to go, and then it's like, okay, well, I'll wait the time out, and then I had to reset everything up again, do all the things. Let's just jump right into it then, I think. So pretty much we're right at the, should be, let me just make sure that the trophies are not, there's no trophies coming up, I don't think. No, it doesn't look like it. Let's just start with the next game. Start with the next trial, I should say. Just making sure that there weren't any trophies, because sometimes, well, no trophies in the next couple of instances. It's just to make sure that there's nothing coming up. Alright, so as I said before, we're at the trial in the second case, and pretty much we didn't have a lot of time to. Well, my intention was to start a lot sooner, and after all that's been, I pretty much left everything up and just did a few other things, but it's fine. Let's just get right into it. I haven't really got much else left to really talk about at the moment. Ultimate Kyobi was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Tammer, were found with the murder weapon. At the time, Ultimate Kyobi was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested. Tammer attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed a statue and struck back. Kyobi had been slipped some kind of sleep-inducing drug. That's right, the accused was scared, because the Ultimate was a former pro wrestler. So he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless. Here's the autopsy report to prove it. Kyobi's autopsy report added to the court record. Cause of death, stabbed with a spear, estimated time of death around 3:20 p.m. The victim had been in a drug-induced slumber. Okay. And the victim managed to attack his attacker, despite being impaled by a spear? It sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible? Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast. Don't try to brush her all off by saying the Ultimate had been a pro wrestler. Do you really expect us to believe he could fight back after being skewered by a spear? Never heard of the incredible feats of which man is capable of in a pinch, have you? Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain. It sharpens their senses. I used to talk about it with a former wrestler I met in a clink. I don't know. Still sounds a little far-fetched. Does it now? Then perhaps we should test the theory on you with the edge of my blade. You didn't sign up for this. Oh, he doesn't have it. So your life is spared, for now. Please let those shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die. My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof, for my name isn't Fulbright. I vow to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest. The accused prints were on the weapon, and he's the one person without an alibi. Quite decisive evidence, wouldn't you agree, your boldness? The defendant is sounding guiltier by the minute. Judge leaning towards a guilty verdict. The trial's just barely begun. What's more, a curious rumor about the accused is making the rounds. They say he seeks the merger for the purpose of freeing Temataro from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I can't think of no real reason to show interest in that backwards burg. Perhaps he's a complete nutter and really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way, he's raving mad and more than capable of murdering the alderman. The mayor's a strange one, alright. But he went to a blood drive instead of donating, he tried to make a withdrawal. Order! There will be no gossiping in my court. Your boldness. Please take a gander at these charms plastered around his cranium. I hear they're meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Temataro. Then again... perhaps he's already under the demon's spell. Behold! The lunatic appears poised to lunge at you at any moment.
Hold it!
Rumors and quirks of Mayor Tim are of no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head? They're just a fashion statement, I think. Come to think of it, such things don't seem relevant to the case, do they? Prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud. Oh, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here. Thanks for that lifeline, Athena. Careful, Apollo, it's the judge dancing the palm of his hand. Perhaps suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impressions to suit his objectives. This guy really is bad news. In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself despite being impaled. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker? None other than a statue right here. It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle. Two yokai, to be exact. On one side is the nine-tailed fox, and on the other Temataro. Quite interesting, if you think about it. It's as though this very case were rendered in art. Fox and demon statue updated in the court record. The mayor's blood was found on it, but no prints could be lifted. Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Alright. Well, as always, I press all of the statements because we get a little bit of extra dialogue with those, and also more content in that as well. I don't know why I was so flustered today. I guess it's because I started later than I wanted to do. Like, I'm trying to do longer streams so I can get to the affiliate goal longer because faster, because if I get the average views, it's going to definitely help. But yeah, in general, like, I did intend to start a lot sooner, but we'll see how far we can get, and at least I was able to do some other things along the way, so... Alderman Kyubi was... Oh, actually, we've already read this one. So you press every statement because,
Hold it!
they're free. Such weapons on the wall of the Fox Chamber. I presume those are real. Do you think keeping real weapons around like that is rather dangerous? No matter what he collected, the Aldermans insisted it could be the real deal. For instance, he had a real demon's club in his possession. Apparently, one of his ancestors claimed it after defeating a demon in battle. It's got to be an old wives' tale. The Alderman had pure, unadulterated justice flowing in his veins. Whatever he did it right. Was a real champion of justice in his death. Nothing but claptrap and balderdash, if you ask me. Now stop your bleeding and tell us about the weapon. Your wish is my command.
Hold it!
Doesn't make sense if you think about it. This could easily be wiped off. You do have a point there. I'd venture to say he did not wipe off the prince because it could not. What do you mean? Looks like he wants you to figure it out. Well, don't just stand there. Show him who's boss. Totally lost. So why don't you just tell me the answer already? I think you saw that plea for help. You feeling alright, kid? Running a fever, perhaps? Which trials came with a reset button? Well, the specifics may yet come to light. Please proceed, Detective Fulbright.
Hold it!
Come to think of it, the coffee cup was found on the floor. Was the sedative in his coffee? Bingo! We found traces of a sleeping agent all over the inside of the cup. And that is why he was out cold? That is until he leapt to his feet upon being impaled by the mare. An awful way to wake up. A rather stimulating eye-opener if you ask me. I too would have risen to the attack. For to die in battle is a samurai way. Paradise awaits fallen heroes, but that hole in his stomach would make eating a challenge. Prosecutor Blackwell, please! These morbid jokes of yours have no place in this court. Says the jester and detectives guys. Moving right along. I'm liking this already, these characters.
Hold it!
So the other one was drugged because he was really strong. Did you see those rock-hard muscles of his? I'm surprised the spear even managed to pierce that armor-like musculature. I admit I'm completely jealous of that righteous body of his. Well, he did look pretty buff, even in that suit he had on. Quite a difference when compared with a yellow belly like you. Yellow belly? Who even says that anymore? Yeah, and the colors are wrong too. Oh, I know. How about a squishy red tomato? Tomato. I move to strike both of your comments from the record. So Justice's character is not the issue here. Now, let's get back to what happened after the far more muscular alderman was impaled. Yes, well, your average person would likely have died on the spot. Alright, we'll press this statement, and then, review everything. I have a feeling it's gonna be the fox that would present the, statue. Just because it updated. Could he really have attacked his attacker after being impaled with that huge spear? Absolutely! After all, he was once a pro wrestler! The injustice of being drugged and speared was answered with a righteous counterattack. But does being a former pro wrestler make him superhuman? Absolutely! After all, he was one of the good guys, like a superhero on the side of justice. Even though he was retired, he could still don his superhero guise in times of need.
Objection!
You need to lay off the comic books, detective. We're talking about real life here. Setting aside the half-wit's flights of fancy, the fact is this. The court ordered post-mortem and concluded the victim moved after his skewering. So he found the strength somehow to attack his attacker, huh? If Fulbright's testimony sounds airtight, no wonder he's so confident. No one thinks it's airtight. It's up to us to poke some holes in it. That part about the alderman fighting back sounds like a big hole waiting to be poked. Okay. I'm gonna go to the final one. Present the statue. So we didn't check, no, we didn't check anything else. That's fine.
Objection!
Do this. Did the alderman really strike the man? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice? So-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. Claim the alderman struck back after the man put a spear through him. The statue he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory. It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well, let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the detective statue theory. QB fought unarmed, there are no fingerprints or it's unbroken. There aren't any fingerprints. There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. If you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing gloves. Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed. If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? This can't be happening! Did I arrest the wrong man? You did it, Apollo! You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse. Well, it's just 1 point in our favor. Who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't, the alderman? Well, if it wasn't the alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. I mean, there was a third party there in the Fox Chamber? Exactly, this could be the big break we've been looking for. There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Blackwell, would you care to respond to the defense's assertion? Least you could do is look at me while being dismissive. Your mind is as dull as an unhorned blade, Justice Dono. Justice Dono? She's been watching too many samurai flicks. It would take far more than that to cut down Simon Blackwell. A whelp such as you has no hope against my superior swordsmanship. This is a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Blackwell. There's a perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints on the statue. You might recall that blood-stained cloth found at the scene of the crime. Well, it just so happens that the blood was the mayor's. So, what are you getting at? Hold your mind, boy. Why was there blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle and you shall see that the hole you thought you found is but an illusion. Now let's see, how was that cloth used? Was it used by Cube as a head covering, to wipe out blood, or to wrap the statue? I reckon it could be to wrap the statue, because if you put the cloth over the statue and then use it as a weapon, you're not going to get fingerprints on the statue, and then, yeah. So it should be to wrap the statue. Maybe the alderman wrapped the statue in the cloth. Sure, he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the man. Precisely. Bully for you, boy. Well, that was nothing. Apollo, didn't let him start manipulating you too. You just closed the hole for the prosecution. Did? I did. Right. That a statue wrapped in cloth would leave no fingerprints is as plain as day. But this also proves there are no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back. Fox and Name statue updated. The weapon used to bludgeon the mayor wrapped in a large cloth to pay. Sorry, I have to read. There's something else extra. Now, do you see how dull your mind is? Court record. Check the statue again. So, the statue has traces of blood from the defendant Damien Tenma on it. It was apparently wrapped in a large cloth on which the defendant's blood was also found. No fingerprints could be lifted from the cloth. Make sure to sharpen it next time. Particularly frightening inmate once told me that. He always tenderly honed his blades before he went to work, like the samurai of yore. Samurai? Sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me. Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time. Wait, so the inmate was a murdering samurai prison chef? Would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all. It's kind of attached to that hole now then. Apollo, I just thought of something. They didn't find anyone's fingerprints on the statue. Who's to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the man with it? Why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left prints on it. Then who, pray tell, struck the man with the statue? Please, illuminate me with your wisdom, young lady. There's only one answer. The real killer. Prove the existence of this real killer, then. What evidence have you? I'll give you evidence, alright. Thene, are you sure about this? To borrow your words, Apollo, I'm fine. Take a look at this. Like feathers and tracks, allegedly from a yokai we found at the scene. I believe they're from the third party who struck the man with that statue. Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster killed that alderman? That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection!
No, Athena, you just lost what little credibility we had left. Oh no, she's just like broken the case, hasn't she? Sorry, I guess I got carried away. Mr. Justice, we've no time to deal with objections between members of the defense. Sorry, Your Honor. It's just this kid's still, well, a kid. You meaning I'm reporting this to Mr. Wright? So, is this court to believe the feathers and tracks are from a yokai, as you put it? No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication. Your killer wants us to believe some sort of monster murdered the alderman. Interesting. Why do you suppose the killer would do that? Why indeed? Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is. This I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright. Hoy, Fulbright, explain to this boulders what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feathers and tracks. You mean you can explain all that? Our investigation prowess was unequal. Starting to think I chose the wrong profession. Very well, let's hear about these so-called yokai feathers and tracks. Okay, just make sure that we don't have to press certain things. Well, okay, press the fourth statement, so I want to make sure I avoid the fourth statement until I get the, all the other statements read, because otherwise, we'll miss some stuff. That looks like it's all that has to be done. Yeah, okay. So just avoid pressing the fourth statement so we can see the fifth one, otherwise I'll miss out on some extra dialogue there. So, feathers and tracks. This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger. Tenma panicked when the amazing Ninetails helped embolden the protesters. So we struck the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer. Okay, never mind, the fourth statement is the last statement. His feathers and tracks stoked the villagers' fear. Absolutely! He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds. Those feathers only gave weight to the idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accursed demon Tenmataro, that is. Tenma who? Tenmataro, the legendary demon locked away in the village's forbidden chamber. From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black-feathered demon. And thus were they blinded to other, more plausible explanations.
Hold it!
Hold on for a second. We're start letting our imaginations run wild. Isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect? Mr. Justice, please explain yourself. The day of the incidents, there was a special event held at Kyubi Manor. As part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenmataro. Obviously, this person is a much more likely suspect than any other legendary demon.
Objection!
Okay, his voice sounds more... That's the first time I've heard his voice. Like, he sounds more like he's more, royal and upper class than I was expecting, actually. I mean, I'm still going to continue doing the voice that I'm giving him because I don't want to change it, and also just because that's how I envisioned the voice. And with Claviers, it was the same as well, so I'll just continue with the voice that I was doing for it. But I won't count the, I'll just do the voice I was doing for this instead. Darling, you are playing right to the killer's mind games. Listen here, the feathers and tracks were merely red herrings. The villagers believed the murder to be the work of the real Temmataro. However, the police believe that the person in the Temmataro suit is the killer. The defendant sought to sow this confusion in order to deflect blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman. And thus our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Do you honestly believe Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
Yeah, he speaks more like objection, like that. Like, he speaks more like that, but I'm just gonna continue doing what I'm gonna do. I think my voice is, I was trying to go for a certain thing anyway. The evidence speaks for itself, Fulbright. Right, it was the mayor's last-ditch effort to stop the opposition before things got crazy. The amazing Ninetales is fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement. Plus, he's one of the better-known masked wrestlers in the hometown favorites. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of injustice. Hang on one second. I keep getting these stupid best viewer things again. They keep changing the link. So I just ban them usually. They're so stupid. I don't know. I guess they've always been around in Twitch, having bots that will just go around and just post stuff, but like I don't know why Twitch don't get on it much better. Do the people of Ninetales Vale really believe a yokai is behind the crime? Yokai sightings are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did. So, a crime that preys upon innocent, impressionable minds. Just so, a particularly silver-tongued inmate once had the following words for me. Innocent of heart are the easiest prey. You don't say. Was this inmate a con artist? No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. I actually felt sorry for the poor chap. Yeah, he sounds like I'm seeing his voice now that I know I'm seeing his dialogue, and he's using like dullard and chap and things. So he sounds more British than he sounds more British and like upper class, I guess, or using the British slang more than thing. But it's just so weird. This is what happens when you don't know what the actual characters sound like. Wait, so he wasn't the predator, but rather the prey. Yes, well... Now, the defense may proceed with their cross-examination. Alright, every statement we press, obviously, because, I think there's only 4 statements here.
Hold it!
Detective Fulbright, is the anti-merger movement really that strong? Oh, absolutely! They parade around in yokai costumes shouting, "Down with Mayor Tenma!" Just the other day, they stormed Tenma City Hall, claiming it was a den of vipers. But when the accused showed his face, the angry mob scattered like leaves upon an autumn wind. If you see lowly yokai, no match for Temmataro, the dark lord of their kind. Wait, are the villagers scared of Mayor Tenma or Temmataro? I'm confused. I think he means Mayor Tenma. It's easy to get the wrong impression about that guy. Fulbright, why do you suppose the defendant will commit such an act?
Hold it!
Amazing Ninetales. No one knows his true identity, right? That's right. He was a lone wolf, or in other words, he didn't belong to a wrestling federation. He appeared like a shooting star, defeating one Temmaton wrestler after another. Before anyone knew it, he was champion. Like the samurai of yore, surrounded thick with enemies, he cut them down one by one. It was a complete and utter loss of face of Tematown Pro Wrestling. He was amazing! If ever there was a real superhero, it would be him! I dream of becoming a true champion of justice like him someday! Bet Detective Fulbright would be a great pro wrestler. He even teamed up with Prosecutor Blackwell. Police detective and a prisoner in chains. You know, I think people would actually pay to see that. I know I would. So you do understand the greatness that is the Amazing Nine Tails?
Hold it!
The murder and yokai evidence really stoked the villagers' fears. Absolutely! Had an immediate impact. Presumed return of the dreaded Tamataro has them shaking their boots. Oh my, is it really that bad? That superstitious lot. It's as if Jack the Ripper had been set loose in their village. Yeah, the fact that he's referencing Jack the Ripper and all that now, I think he's supposed to be British. He's supposed to be like some sort of royal. And he's voice acting in it, I definitely think so. I'm not gonna change the voice though, I'll keep it as what it is. Because I think it suits him more. The mere thought of that demon lurking about is enough to spark a mass exodus. Plus we are technically in like, we're not even in Britain for this. I see. It's a very persuasive argument. Mere thought of his honor, buying into Simon the Psycho Slasher's words. Makes me want to spark my own exodus out of the courtroom right about now. So you see, there can be only one reason why anyone would plant those feathers and tracks. So press this statement.
Hold it!
Doesn't add up. What you say is true, why top it off with murder? What do you mean? Claim that our client planted the yokai evidence to stoke the villagers' fear. So, then why not stop there? Why murder Alderman Kyubi? Excellent point. It is, isn't it? So Your Honor agrees there was no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Yeah, it's like, objection! Perhaps the killing was on the spur of the moment. Saying it wasn't premeditated. That's another one as well. Instead of saying premeditated, I say premeditated. From the outset, I had no intention of paying heed to any of your battle. However, the fact is, the man made a startling discovery. Startling discovery? Why don't I like the sound of that? Alderman Cuba's secret identity. Apollo. Prosecutor Blackwell has figured out the Alderman's secret identity. But even if he has, why would it be a motive for the man to commit murder? This is not good. This patch of fur was discovered at the crime scene. It's from the mask worn by the Amazing Nine Tails. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene. Oh my, but why would it have been there? The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-merger movement. Need I say more? Well... could it really be? Your boldness has had an epiphany, I see. Our victim Rex Cuby was the Amazing Nine Tails. And the man's discovery of this fact was his motive for murder. Yep. Oh, we haven't, I mean, I'm trying to think now. Out of all of the times that we've actually done a case, I think only one time we've actually tried to defend someone who was guilty. Twice? Can't remember. Order! Order! What a shocking development. A motive clearer than crystal clear. What do we do now, Apollo? Didn't think they'd tie the Alderman's secret identity to the man's motive for murder. At last, we've reached my real point. Why did the Alderman have to forge a secret identity? Does it not pique your interest, your boldness? I admit it does. It is odd that he had to create this other persona. Just to secretly participate in the anti-merger movement. Very astute of you, your boldness. Right, now take a look at this. Oh, there's a blackmail letter. Never mind, we didn't actually get to see this. If you value your dearest life, you will merge Ninetales Vale with Town. Do not tell anyone about this threat. If you do, consider your dearest as good as dead. This blackmail letter was found in Mr. in Alderman Cuby's pocket. At present, the Alderman's wife is in the hospital. That letter is clear evidence that the mayor was blackmailing by threatening her life. Wait, didn't the blackmail letter sent to Mayor Temma go missing? Right after the Alderman's murder? I think maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor after the murder? Planted it in the Alderman's pocket? It's possible. Don't have any proof that, that's what happened. Talk about being up the creek without a paddle. Blackmail letter added to the court record. Actually, before I continue, I'm gonna just quickly turn the light on because it is starting to get dark. Alright, let's have a look. I think we already saw this, but we'll look at it anyway. But Temma wouldn't have made a clean getaway if he just left after playing the yokai things. So that's all that is for now. But he was knocked out cold by a sudden decision to kill the Amazing Ninetales. So it was the Amazing Ninetales counterattack that brought the entire crime to light. Wait a sec. Brett's claiming that the mayor killed the alderman after planting the yokai evidence. The mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that. Did Fulbright please add your previous statement to your testimony? No, Temma killed the sleeping alderman after planting the feathers and tracks. So we want to compress this. So let me get this straight. I believe the man planted the yokai evidence before the murder, not after. Absolutely. Then he was knocked out cold by the alderman's last punch. He wouldn't have had a chance to plant the evidence after that. Something's not right here. Hard to believe that a stiff, humorless man like the mayor could be behind such a stunt. We have to do something, Apollo, before they pin it all on the mayor. And we're going to need to prove that Mayor Temma didn't plant that yokai stuff. How are we supposed to do that? So now, last one, as always usually is. So we need to prove that Mayor Temma killed the alderman, or we need to disprove that they think that the alderman was killed by. We need to disprove that Tenma killed the alderman after planting the feathers. So the reason why this wouldn't work is because the feathers are placed over the blood stain is over the feathers. So the feathers over the blood stain, so it would be this.
Objection!
Therefore, but your sense of justice is anything but fair. What's this? You dare question my justice again? Yes, I'm gonna prove it to you. Take a look at this photo. This is the crime scene photo. And just what does this prove? It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted. But I already told you, they were planted before the murder. The defendant planted the yokai evidence, then was knocked out while killing his victim. That would be impossible. If you look right here, it's clear when the feathers and tracks were left at the scene. What proves the items were only there after the crime? It would be these, the feathers here. You can see these feathers are placed after the, above the blood. So it should be this. Hopefully it's pressed on that correctly. Aren't you just pointing to the yokai feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice? Yes, see how the feathers are on top of the blood and the tracks were made in blood? In other words, the yokai evidence could have only resulted after the murder. But the man must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman. But you said it yourself, the man had been knocked unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time for him to plant any evidence at all, therefore. There must have been someone else besides the mayor and the alderman at the crime scene. There must be some mistake! Order! Order! Where's your evidence? You can't possibly have any, can you? Oh! Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. In fact, I have an eyewitness's testimony for you. You do? But how? Is my vaunted sense of justice really just half-baked? It's taking this really hard. Mr. Justice? What is this testimony regarding a third party that you claim to have? I have it right here, Your Honor. It's the sworn testimony of Mr. Tenma's daughter. Witness Jinxie Tenma saw a yokai in the hallway after stumbling up on the scene. It's the demon Tenmataro. He's the source of these feathers and tracks. Somebody please say something. The defense will explain to the court exactly what he means. You didn't want this court injustice itself. You're unfit to bear the name, boy. Your boldness. It appears our defense attorney here is delirious from exhaustion.
Hold it!
Apollo, think of something quick before you're held in contempt of court. What do you think I'm trying to do? Before you decide whether I should step down, please, hear me out. Very well, Mr. Justice, I'm all ears, but you'd better explain yourself well. What was this yokai you were talking about? It's all in this statement here. Jinxie Tenma asserts that she saw Tenmataro. After she discovered the crime scene and called the police, she came around a corner in the hall. It was around here. That she saw Tenmataro fleeing towards the foyer. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster is the one who left those feathers and tracks behind intentionally or otherwise. What? Oh, incredibly unjust! Why haven't I heard about this before? The defense just proved there was someone else, so the man isn't the killer. A little setup. The prosecutor is a convicted felon after all. Polo, the momentum has shifted in our favor. Good, now let's keep it that way.
Objection!
Little do you realize that though you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken. My sword? Didn't know I had one to break. You implying there's a problem with my clan? Consider this. That yokai impersonator had indeed fled toward the foyer. That fool and that fop would have seen him. Fool and fop? Oh, you mean Filch and LaBelle? Now that you mention it. Well, Phineas, Filch, and Florent LaBelle were in the foyer at the time. But they haven't stated that they saw a yokai, have they? Did you ever consider that yokai was but a figment of a scared little girl's imagination? Why didn't those two see the Tenmataro impersonator pass by? Why don't you ask them yourselves? I was just about to say that myself. No, really, I was. Friends would like to call Mr. Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor, to the stand. Just know he must have seen something. Suppose we can't ignore the fact the little girl believes she's a monster? I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackwell. I understand that Mr. Filch is enjoying a nap out in the lobby. I knew that Tanuki was a rare find. But when we captured him, I didn't think he'd end up as a witness. Do with him as you will. Did he just say captured? No, wait, I don't want to know. Very well, then. Bailiff, please go wake Mr. Filch and escort him to the witness stand. Will the witness state his name and occupation, please? The name's Filch, Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor. Oh, and this is for you, your lordship. Just a little something I thought you might like. Oh my, what a fabulous pair of shoes! And your honor will do just fine, Mr. Filch. It's those shoes again. Don't they belong to Detective Fulbright? Don't tell me Filch stole them again. They were yours, your honorship, sir. What? But they seem awfully expensive. Yep, too expensive for me, but I reckon they'd be perfect for someone like your honorship. It's a kind gesture, but legal ethics dictate I can't accept such gifts. Or ethics schmethics, just take them if you want them. Polish them up real nice for you too. I'm sorry about the shoes, Mr. Filch, but I will accept your testimony. The court would like to hear whether you saw Tenmataro in the foyer after the murder. Okay, guarding the foyer. At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. QB asked. Just making sure no one, fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise, could get to our guest. Still in my office, keeping a good watch with the murder happened after 3 p.m. Didn't see nothing out of the ordinary, no siree. That yokai you kept jabbering on about was but a phantom of a good little girl's dream. So you're telling this court you never saw anyone dressed up like Tenmataro? Yep, was guarding the whole time. That's the whole truth, the holy truth, and nothing but the truth. Tenmataro? Bah, you don't really know... you don't really believe in all that yokai mumbo-jumbo, do you? I certainly don't. Okay, no, you believe in something. You believe in something. You wouldn't be reacting in that way if you, yeah, we're gonna probably do something with the bracelet. Bracelet, it's... Something the matter, Apollo? Bracelet keeps squeezing my arm. Really? So you think Mr. Tanuki, Filch has been lying to us? Wouldn't rule it out. Now, if I could just zero in on a tell, some sort of nervous habit. Wait, what, huh? What in the... What is this? What is this? I guess the legal eagle is here now. Oh, it's a hawk, actually. Yeah, it's a hawk, alright. What's a hawk doing in here? Oh. Okay. Allow me to introduce my trusty cohort, Taka. He seems to have taken quite a liking to the courthouse. Made it his new home, in fact. Okay, so... We're now being attacked by... a hawk. Doesn't live with you, you know, in jail. It's a bird of a courthouse bird. Taka simply loathes trickery and fraud. Okay, so now is this supposed to nullify? Is this the game telling us, hey, if we try to activate the bracelet, that Taka's just gonna swoop in and interfere with us using the bracelet? This is clever though, because it's like I've always wondered, like, a lot of the cases in the past games use the Magatama, or they use this bracelet, or they use some other tomfoolery that would normally not get you the thing, which is why some of the cases worked really well. Because there were some cases, like, I didn't like 3-3 overall, but 3-3 is a clever case. Hang on one second. Thank you very much for the raid. Let me give you a shout out real quick before I continue. Thank you for the raid. Thank you very much. Welcome in, everyone. We are doing more of the lawyer game. We are trying to get the platinum trophy, as well as a few other things. Also, yeah, we do a lot. Welcome in, raiders. Welcome in, everyone. We are doing more of this. I do a lot of Plat reaction videos, speedruns, Switch games, and currently we're on our next platinum playthrough of this game, where I am trying to do the voices, and we're on the second trial of the second game of the trilogy, so, yeah. That's pretty much all that I have to say. But thank you very much for the raid and welcome in, everyone. You've never played this game? It's a, if you like, text-based, well, should I say text-based? It's a visual novel, it's, solving cases, it's, colorful characters, lots of puns, what else is there to explain? Like, there's a lot. There's a lot to it. It's a fun game. It's a very, very fun game. So far. I like trying to do the voices for the characters, but it also is kind of difficult too, but... Yeah. That queer pal of yours seems to have offended my dear bosom buzzard. This isn't some sort of trick or something like this, where it's like, you know, we don't get to see this in a normal courtroom, for example. Just, we're trying to use our power to perceive someone lying, and, the prosecutor just sends his hawk out to us, and, you know, just as you do in a court. If you don't like what the defense has to say, you just send your bird out to them, and do stuff like this. So, it's definitely a wacky game. What the heck's going on around here? Run for the hills! No pets or other animals allowed in the courtroom. Is he gonna peck him on the head? What is this? What is this madness? Somebody help! Oh no. Oh no. Yep. What's going on with this? What is actually going on? Oh, he's merely having a bit of sport. He won't harm you, save when truly famished. In that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, you will ensure your feathered friend is properly fed. Looks like we have to do this the old-fashioned way. Be fine, I think. If there was someone dressed as Tamataro there, Phil should have seen him. We'll just have to put our faith in Jinxie's statement for now. Mr. Justice, please proceed with your cross-examination. So the bird's just gonna stay on top of the judge the entire time. So we can't perceive anymore because now this bird nullifies that. So we're out one gimmick. And basically, I guess the bird's going to be constantly on watch until he's fed. So they've nullified our advantage that we had over the prosecution by this. But yeah, as I was saying before the raid, I like some of the cases where you have to, like, case 3-3 isn't one of my favorite cases, but I do like that, it's one of those, a nod to those who didn't perceive it. Well, that's the thing, you had to perceive an Apollo Justice. So I guess you could get by without perceiving, maybe somehow. I didn't perceive every single statement, I only perceived the statements that I knew that had the thing, because I'm not really sure. But I was saying, like, in 3-3, you don't need to use the Magatama. It's actually one of the few cases where Phoenix solves the crime without some sort of, outside influence, like the Magatama or, like, something else. Because a lot of these cases do come down to, hey, we have this thing that basically can help us get away with, you know, how can we, what was it that happened? We, like, the perceived system in itself was like, oh, you rubbed your neck, and that must mean that you are guilty of something, that you're hiding some sort of thing. And it's like, well, no, that doesn't really make any sense, because in a real life, like, situation like this, you're just moving, you know, if people fidget around, doesn't mean that they're lying, necessarily. On with the show. Of course, we're going to press every statement because I want to see all the different dialogues that we can experience. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not meant to be realistic. It's a video game, so obviously that's why I'm saying, like, that's why it works the way that it does. That's at least what I'm trying to say anyway. Like, you just can't, it's a video game. Like, all these things happening in this game, it's like, it's not supposed to be realistic, but at the same time, like, I did like that they tried to do some cases where Phoenix would use his actual intellect and his, you know, like, seeing what you have with you, rather than having to use, like, the Magatama to break something, or to...
Hold it!
This at least now feels like, oh, we can't just use the bracelet when we need to use the bracelet, because we can't, yeah. Well, like, again, the mood matrix is a good example of this. In the mood matrix, yes, you can't tell how someone's feeling based on their, you know, in a real situation, but emotion can say a lot about words, and a lot about what you're trying to say. So I think the mood matrix makes sense, because it's like, hey, this person feels happy when they should be feeling sad at something. So I think it works, in some ways. Mr. Filch, why did Alderman QB have you handle guard duty? Because he trusts me. I'm the mayor's caretaker, after all. So he took said guard duty seriously. Let me tell you something about me. Listen here, you little tanuki. Get straight to the point and be quick about it. The court wishes to hear what you did and didn't see in the foyer, and naught else. Yes, of course, sir. Right away, sir. Blackwood's got him completely under his thumb. Like I said, I was guarding the foyer entrance that day. Like, all these characters are very, very fun. I've liked them all so far.
Hold it!
So no one could get to him. Sounds like security was pretty tight. That's because there's always lots of sneaks and thieves around festival time. The solution was to entrust the manor security to a thief. That's not even funny. Maybe it's a matter of stopping thieves by hiring one. After all, it takes one to know one. I don't know, it seems more like letting the fox guard the henhouse to me. So the witness testifies that he took his guard duty seriously. Yes, sir, your honorship, sir. Also, I like that he still had, he somehow pinched Fulbright's shoes again. He pinched Fulbright's shoes despite, him standing as well.
Hold it!
Once again. Should really keep an eye on the foyer the entire time. Poor old Filchy, been working hard my whole life. Only to be spammed by some greenhorn in his fancy schmancy suit and silly haircut. Sorry, Mr. Blackwell, sir. Didn't mean to get off subject there. Sheesh, Blackwell didn't even say anything. To answer your question, yes, I kept an eye. No, both of them, in fact, on the foyer.
Hold it!
Describe to the court could you describe to the court who you would consider fishy looking? Someone all fidgety and shifty like, you know? Like they're about to steal something. He just described himself. Wonder why Mr. Filch didn't see Tamataro. Maybe Jinxie only thinks he saw Tamataro, or maybe Mr. Filch is lying. And if he's lying, we might be able to find a spot of contradiction. Okay, that's all the press statements. I like to press everything first. Occasionally I just make sure to... If there's something that needs to be pressed to progress the story, I will just not press it, because I want to see all the different options. But the thing that standed out to me was this here. He was still in his office keeping a watch when the murder happened, but we have evidence to suggest that, he was busy doing something else, because, yeah. He was busy doing this, because remember he mentioned he was watching the wrestling, and the wrestling happens to be on at 3. So if he kept an eye on the foyer, how could he have been watching the... And if we look at the, I believe if we look at the... There's a picture here, wasn't there? There's a picture of the foyer, right? If he was watching the foyer, from the caretaker's office, as he said, the TV is facing the opposite direction to, the area. So he can't have been watching the wrestling as well as watching the foyer at the same time, unless he was turning constantly, which I doubt. Yeah, he couldn't have been watching the thing, so I think that's what we have to present to him. How could he be watching the foyer? He was in the office keeping a good watch when the murder happened after 3. Well, he was watching the wrestling at 3, so he wouldn't have known. I think that's what we should try.
Objection!
Don't lie to the court like that, Mr. Filch. Hey, it ain't right to bushwhack a fella like that. Fortunately for you, I have evidence that proves you're lying. If you look at this TV listing here, you'll see that at the time of the crime, there was a pro wrestling match scheduled. Something you'd never miss. There we go. I didn't watch that one, no siree. I was doing my job just like I was supposed to. This guy doesn't know when to give up. Mr. Filch, someone even circled the match. It was you, right? Not only that, you even told me you watched it. You said, and I quote, "It was a complete disaster." Yep. So, do you admit to slacking off? You can't trick me with your Rudy Boo lawyer talk. I'm one of them professional types, too. I can do double duty, watching TV and the foyer at the same time. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so, at all. Only thing Filch can claim to be a professional of is a professional thief. Mr. Justice? You would have this court believe the witness was slacking off. That's correct. Claims to have been watching TV and the foyer at the same time. That's nothing but a bold-faced lie. Bold, you say? But I'm not the one who's lying. Perhaps you meant the witness, Mr. Justice. And in that case, let's see what evidence you can offer. claim Mr. Filch is lying about watching TV in the foyer simultaneously. Now prove it. We just presented the TV listing, so we have to prove that he was lying about watching the foyer and the TV at the same time. So that would be the foyer diagram, because the foyer diagram would at least show that if he was watching the foyer and the TV at the same time. I'm not sure how this is supposed to look. I can't point this on the screen, I don't think, because my cursor doesn't show up. I'm assuming that this bottom part here, like, if you... how do I explain this better? The area in line with the TV and the camera, like the little white area in between, I'm assuming that's supposed to be the door because of the swinging open section. And then these other two white areas that are around this, you know, the L-shaped area, I'm assuming those are supposed to be windows. So I could agree that somebody could technically be watching TV and also watching the foyer at the same time. There is an argument to that, but I think in this particular situation, I don't think we can say, hey, he was watching the TV at this time, because... watching the foyer and the thing, because the TV is directly... You'd be facing directly... You'd be missing one entire area of the foyer if this is meant to be a window. And even if he was, like, watching the TV and turning his head to... thing, he wouldn't be able to see it the entire time. I think this is why.
Take that!
It should be this. Please look at the direction the TV is facing in this diagram. Unless Mr. Filch's eye is where his right ear should be, I think it would be impossible to watch the foyer entrance and the TV at the same time. Okay, so that was what the implication was. He was saying he was watching them both at the same time, which you technically wouldn't be able to do. Although you probably could if you wanted to. Well, yes, someone's watching TV there. You couldn't possibly see the entrance. Exactly, and that means, Mr. Filch, you were slacking off, and you weren't watching the foyer as you claim. That's out of the bag. I mean, the other way around. Yep. That's definitely out of the bag, that's for sure. Order! 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 But Mr. Justice, is Mr. Filch's less than stellar work ethic relevant to this case? Very relevant, because while he was slacking off watching TV, there really couldn't be a Temataro impersonator in the foyer.
Objection!
What now? Granted, this Tanuki was lax in his duties, but he still had that foyer entrance covered. What are you talking about? Please don't attack us. This. Not a mind reader. Auditory sense. His eyes may have been slacking off, but his ears were still hard at work. Right, Tanuki? They were? Yeah, they definitely were. I mean, yes, they were. But you already admitted to slacking off. Now you say you weren't? My eyes might be lazy, but my ears ain't. I would have heard anyone in the foyer. You see, the foyer floor and stairway get all creaky squeaky when somebody walks on. Creak, creak, creak. Loud enough to wake the dead, I reckon. So you're saying you didn't hear anybody walk by? Yep, my ears were working full time. So what's the liar now, you no good shyster? A lying thief calling me a shyster. This has to be the low point of my fledgling career. Got to end to you, Mr. Blackwell, sir. You really are something else. I mean, you don't miss a thing. And then bags under your eyes? They're darker than mine. Fair warning, Mr. Filch. Taka is particularly fond of Tanuki. Should you lie to this court again, you may suddenly find yourself on the menu. Oh, never mind. Please don't make me Mr. Taka, sir. Alright, this is exactly like, this is like Francisco all over again. Whipping us, whipping the judge, whipping the defendants, yeah. The The witness will henceforth testify truthfully under penalty of painful burn attacks. And with that in mind, the court requests that the witness revise his testimony accordingly. This game has been very, very wacky. Alright, this one should be a new one. So he is working overtime. It's true, I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV. My eyes might have been slacking off, but my ears, they were working overtime. Floors were squeaky like. No way I would have missed someone walking by. So you see, there weren't no Temataro in the foyer. Superstitions of religion are feeble minds. Understand? A simple, rational explanation is best. Forget yokai, demons, and such. We must use common sense for lacking that. Our entire world would be upside down. Says the convict prosecutor who is totally assigned at the times for the legal world. And besides, if there were any yokai roaming about, I'd never been selling to the zoo. Wonder whether Jinxie was just seeing things. That seems to be the general consensus, but I'm sticking to my guns. But if you can't prove what that she saw Temataro, the man's sure to be convicted. Then we better hope my guns fire bullets, not BBs. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Alright, try and press every statement first.
Hold it!
Get some additional information out of them. You are paid for your work, aren't you? How do you justify watching TV on the job? But, it ain't been easy. It ain't easy being me. I mean, I can't watch TV when we have visitors and there's no way to record stuff. Sorry, am I supposed to be consoling you over your first world problems? If those are his only problems, he should consider himself lucky. Guess pro wrestling's serious business to Mr. Filch.
Hold it!
You lied earlier about taking your guard duty seriously, didn't you? Oh, Dan, ain't no harm in bending the truth a little, right? Listen to me, you little tanuki. Lie again and Taka shall feast upon that forked tongue of yours. Sorry, just let me keep my tongue. At least leave it until we get the truth out of him in any case. You were negligent in your duties, were you not? Yes, sir, I was, sir. But it ain't like that. Oh. I accidentally moved forward. I was supposed to do that one. This one. Just do this one first. Please tell the court, what did Jinxie see if it was not Temataro? She's always going on about seeing yokai or that. Just an active imagination, I reckon. She won't even come near me because she thinks I'm some sort of tanuki monster. Can't say I blame her. So, Mr. Filch, you chalk it up to a child's active imagination? Yep, not Temataro or anyone else got in or out Kyuubi Manor on my watch. Paula, what could this mean? Do you think Jinxie was just seeing things? Well, if that's the case, the details she provided were pretty impressive. But if we were to continue believing Jinxie's statement, we'll have to uncover Filch's lie. Right, or find out why you can't tell the truth. Oh, okay. So I guess this one was the one that we were supposed to press. So pretty good ears, Mr. Filch. As good as they come, I'd say. Ain't nothing to hear a creaky floor. Plus, that Temataro makes a sound when he goes by. It's like a jingle jangle. Jingle jangle? How does he do that? It's that staff of his. It's what jingle jangles. What's he talking about, Apollo? Beats me, but I guess Temataro has a staff that makes noise. I don't remember seeing that. Come to think of it, didn't Jinxie mention something like that too? Oh, right. That's what it is. She said she saw Temataro holding a staff-like object that made a jangly sound. Guess that's the source of the noise then. Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Filch says Tamataro's jingle... Mr. Filch says Tamataro jingle jangles. Would you consider that vital information? It would be vital, because, it'd be vital because, if we heard the sound, then, it would actually make sense with the thing. So it would be important. Usually whenever someone says, hey, is this information going to be important, it typically will end up being the case. Otherwise, it's like, what's the point in even bringing it up in the first place? Extremely vital. I requested it to be added to his testimony. If Tamataro was to pass by, his staff would have gone jingle jangle. You can press this statement now too.
Hold it!
Tamataro's staff makes a distinctive sound. Yep, like a jingle and a jangle. Wait, Jixie said something like that. Something about Tamataro making a jangly sound. I think we're missing something here, but I can't quite put a finger on it. Perhaps I should take a look at the court record again. We can do that. So, probably, that means we'll have to present something on this statement. Jingle jangle sounds. Or at least, either a jingle jangle, something that makes a jingle jangle sound, or something to do with the staff. Because, like, it's probably actually got to do with the staff, because, do any of the other pictures that we've seen have shown with the staff? That one there doesn't look like it's got a staff on it. The picture here doesn't have a staff on it. The picture here doesn't have a staff. Is there any other pictures that we have of, Tamataro? I don't think so. That might be what it is. None of the pictures that you had, like, Tamataro has a staff that makes a certain noise, but we don't have any photos or proof that show that there's a staff on Tamataro at all. So that means that something else is up, like what was making that sound. But what would I present in that case? I guess it would be... We wouldn't be the... We already presented this, so it probably wouldn't be this. Maybe I should just present the... Would I present the paper? No, because the paper's related to the actual... to what was seen, not necessarily... So maybe we report this? Just because this is the actual legend scroll, which would depict the actual legend, if that makes sense. It would be better to do it that way. Because this is like the official document, everything else could be potentially faked. So this does not depict... And this also says the sole document showing what Tamataro looks like, which means any other showing of Tamataro with something different would not be accurate. And this Tamataro that they're showing does not have a staff. So I guess this would be the best thing to present. To prove that he doesn't have a staff.
Objection!
Tamataro's staff would make a jangly sound, you're saying? Well, I'm gonna say that your story doesn't add up. Is there something the defense would like to share with the court? Mr. Filch, you said that you didn't see Tamataro on the day of the incident. Why then did you assume just now that Tamataro would be holding a staff? See, the Tamataro Jinxie saw held a staff in his hands. You described its sound just like you did. It's a kind of jangly sound. Yes, I was holding a staff. What's your point?
Objection!
Point is that Tamataro doesn't use a staff, not normally. What are you talking about? See, this is the only known document depicting Tamataro. So that was what we're supposed to pick. Because this said it was the sole document depicting his thing, any likeness otherwise than that would be false. Is there a staff in that picture, Mr. Filch? You're right, there's no staff, not even a cane or a walking stick. So the question is, why does the witness think Tamataro uses a staff? I believe the answer will overturn the prosecution's case on the most basic level. Well, now this is getting interesting. Alright, Mr. Justice, it's time to show the court where you're going with this. Please tell the court why Mr. Filch believes Tamataro carries a staff. So the scroll is wrong, that would be not correct. Filch is a scatterbrain. I mean, I would agree that he's a bit of a scatterbrain, but I think it's because he's also lying. I think he's lying and because he straight up did say that he was... It sounds like he's lying on the behalf of Blackquill and potentially of LaBelle because of what happened before. Him saying about sticking to the story. So I guess the only way for this to be... the reason why he would believe he has a staff is because he saw him, because that's also what Jinxie saw. Jinxie saw Tenmataro, the one that we saw running through the area, with a staff. So he had to have seen Tenmataro in this case. Mr. Filch actually saw Tenmataro right after the crime occurred. It's the only way you could possibly know about the staff. Busted again! Bloody hell, you ridiculous... Yes, how'd that feel, Blackquill? Not so fun when you're on the receiving end of the blade, is it? Admit it, Mr. Filch. You did see Tenmataro that day, didn't you? Well? I'm begging you, please don't make me say it. Clearly you did see Tenmataro. Stop stalling and testify to that fact. Not gonna do, no way, no how. You ain't got no idea how terrifying it can be. He? Mr. Filch still won't admit to seeing Tenmataro, even though everyone knows he did. The question now is why? Mr. Filch is scared to death. Is that why you can't admit the truth? Come to think of it. So you must gaze upon Tenmataro, but in the event that you do look, and then tell anyone what you saw, Tenmataro will claim your soul. I guess that would explain things, yeah. Jinxie wouldn't admit to seeing Tenmataro after hearing about the village superstitions. She said that if she told anyone that she had seen Tenmataro, he'd claim her soul. Wait, you think Filch believes that too? So Mr. Big Time Sadistic Lawyer has heard about him. Them old village superstitions? Will the defense please explain what the witness is talking about? People of Ninetales Vale believe some pretty strange things. The superstitions may be the reason our witness here can't admit the truth. Truth that he really did see Tenmataro. Darn straight, that's why. It's all right here. Village superstitions. Do not gaze... Okay, so let's read these first. Do not gaze upon Tenmataro. Do not tell others if you see him. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul. There is, however, one way to save it. Your immediate departure from the village. Freeing him will bring ruin upon the village. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul. See, that's what us folks in Ninetales Vale can't talk about seeing Tenmataro. Village superstitions out of the court record, superstitions that have been handed down generation to generation in Ninetales Vale. Clears up one mystery. Killer took advantage of the superstitions by wearing a Tenmataro costume. They knew that way no one could talk about him, so it was as if he never existed. The defense holds that this Tenmataro impersonator is the true killer.
Objection!
Superstitions, you say? What kind of a fool would actually believe such rubbish? Who would that using some silly fairy tale could so easily expose the culprit? You need to come up with a more rational, common sense explanation than that.
Objection!
Common sense seems awfully narrow-minded to me, Prosecutor Blackquill.
Objection!
Try living in my world of narrow cells, mortal danger and dark sleepless nights. There is no lack of superstitions in the clink, but few of those who truly believe in them.
Objection!
While the village superstitions are real enough to the people of Ninetales Vale, life or death superstition might make you even you a believer. I love they've given Blackwell so many more reactions than they did Clavier. Order! Order, I say! You fool of a Tanuki! 2 times now your lies have cost me! Sorry, sorry! Promise not to do it again! Talk of my fine feather friend, have at him! Oh no, we sick the bird. We've sick the bird on him, no! Yikes, he's gonna eat me alive, head for the hills! Yep, this is, just replace, the hawk with a whip. This is exactly what, Francisca would do. She would just sick the whip on them for lying. He actually ran away as well. He took off. Bailiff, what are you waiting for? After him, and with your fastest men. Certainly not something you see every day. All of it seems a new and important fact has come to light. A third party disguised as the yokai Tenmataro was at the scene. Now we have 2 witnesses who can attest to that fact. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? Wait, he actually broke his chains? I think he actually did. I think he just broke the chains. His shackles. Yep, he did. Wait, what? What is this? Did he spit the... I think he broke... His shackles are broken. His shackles are broken. He sicked the hawk on the witness. He spat the hawk feather at us, and then he sliced it with something. Probably a katana. Too young to die. Justice, Dono. Long has it been since I've been forced to draw my blade. Yeah, he's unleashed now. You'd best say your prayers. He's yeah. He's free from the shackles. He's sicking the hawk on everyone. He's got his katana out, and he's ready for some slice and dice. Detective, do something! I've no fear, Fulbright is here! When the going gets tough, the champion of justice gets going!
Objection!
Then get going already before he kills us! Oh, but I stand in awe of Simon Blackwell, for it is his sense of justice that sets him free. Objection! Objection! I object to Detective Fulbright's definition of justice.
Silence.
Yeah, this is a wacky case, if there ever was one. All these characters are making this case. Like, I've enjoyed the case prior to this in the investigation and all that, but all the characters so far in this have all been very, very good. Not in the habit of cutting down unarmed cowards? Well, in that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, can I ask you to, you know... I think the judge forgot he's in charge here. Oh no, we've already defined that, Blackwell's in charge of this. At the very start, Blackwell was in charge of this whole courtroom. He made the judge do the opening statement. So Justice Dono's assertion is this. Tenmataro is the real killer, not Mayor Tenma. Yeah, he's a great prosecutor so far. Like, I'll give it till the end of the game to see how, like, much I like him, but he's definitely he's definitely, like, shot right up there already, just as in this one case. According to him, there's a yokai at the scene of the crime. Right, and that yokai, or rather, whoever was impersonating him, killed Alderman Kirby.
Silence.
Can you explain why Jinxie being the first to discover the murder? Top 3? Okay, it's kind of hard for me, so, I feel like by default, Edgeworth has to be in the top 3 just because of... It's not just him as a prosecutor, it's like him as a character. Like, him as a character makes it so that you're going to like him more because of other things that happen with his character arcs and stuff. So I feel like Edgeworth will be there regardless. I know Von Karma only had the one case. I love Von Karma as a character, but he was only in one case is the issue. Like, if he was the... If Von Karma was the prosecutor for an entire game, I definitely think he could have been number one. Just because of his, the way that his reaction, but... Francisca is also up there. I guess Francisca is like is the man for, substitutes. I liked Godot as well, but I think Godot out of the three is probably the weakest of the three for the first three games. Clavier is probably actually, yeah, I've got to think. Clavier is probably the weakest prosecutor so far, out of all of them. I won't go into the Ace Attorney ones, the Great Ace Attorney games, because I'll want to leave that to thing, but I would definitely say if I think Clavier is outside of the top three, I mean, like, I guess it would be Edgeworth, Francisca, and Godot, I guess. But I think if I looked at it like this, I think Von Karma's case where he was the prosecutor, Manfred Von Karma was the prosecutor, all of the times where he was the prosecutor, I think was better than all the times that Godot was a prosecutor. So he might have a single better performance, but I liked Godot, like, because he had more cases as well. So, but I think Edgeworth will probably always be number one just because of other factors outside of... It's hard because Edgeworth is a good prosecutor. He's a very fun prosecutor. He's not as wacky and over the top as some of the other ones are, but he has character arcs for when you're defending him and all the other stuff. It's like, it's a completely different level of... It's a different level of prosecutors, so... And then Blackwell, I've only seen for the one case, so... Can't see your alleged killer yokai there in the Fox Chamber? Right, she said nothing about Tamatara being in the Fox Chamber. Let me enlighten you. That little scamp heard a dying scream right before she opened the chamber door. Your point is? But yeah, I can't comment on, I've never played the Investigations game, so I'm not sure how those play. And I don't want to make any comments about the Great Ace Attorney just because, you haven't played those yet, so, and I'm not sure what they did for Phoenix Wright, I'm not sure, I've never played, the Phoenix Wright Professor Layton crossover, so I don't know how those games work, if it's, like, still the defendant and prosecutor thing. I don't know if it's, like, them on the same side, so I don't know if if there's a prosecutor in that game where it's, like, a separate thing. And I guess for character moments, the Payne brothers are also very good. Like, they're only there for a couple of cases, you know, for the tutorial cases, but the Payne brothers are a good, you know, they're good comedy characters. The homicidal maniac who had killed him, the mayor. No, there must have been someone dressed up like Tenma. Then why does that little scamp claim not to have seen a yokai in the Fox Chamber? Considering her father was accused of murder, surely she would have mentioned any third party that might have been in the room. Don't understand. Why didn't she see Tamatara in the Fox Chamber? There's no version of Layton vs. thing off of the 3DS. The 3DS servers are down. Yeah, they're not even down. They're completely gone. Like they're it's not even like, oh, they're not worked. Like they're completely gone now. But yeah, I haven't. I don't mind waiting for it because we're now at a point where there's no more Ace Attorney games to. There's no more Ace Attorney games to release outside of the crossover, and they're doing a Professor Layton game next year. So, I'm either hoping that they somehow can do Professor Layton and start doing those games, or they decide to just try and do the crossover and see how that works. Tell me whether she saw her killer yokai at the scene of the crime. Final battle draws nigh. Only one of us will leave here alive. Long as my blade thirsted for blood, at long last shall be sated. But I mean, I wouldn't have any problem really with like how someone would play a game as long as they play it. Like if they want to. I mean, if they've shut down the 3DS servers, I mean, there are ways to play it. It's still a trial, right? Show me what you're truly capable of, Justice Dono. Very well then, both parties no doubt need some time to regroup. So the court will take a 10-minute recess in order to... Oh, he doesn't want a recess. I don't think Blackwell wants a recess. Oh, no, never mind. 3 minutes. I'm sorry, but... a 3-minute recess? Just so. Plenty of time if your destination of intent is the loo. The loo? You mean the bathroom? Yeah, if you're on a rush to finish all of the games, then that's fine. You'd only have like a week. The game comes out in a week, and you're on Spirit of Justice. You've then still got to beat both Ace Attorney, Great Ace Attorney games, and then the only one left is the crossover. But I guess the other thing is that the crossover technically isn't part of the canon of these games. I guess it's like its own side thing. So I wouldn't say it's like. Is it? I guess it is technically a Phoenix Wright game still. Oh, you've heard some stuff about playing them last? I guess it depends on what you've heard. Those games reference stuff, but I played it in a weird way. So I played the original trilogy, then I played the Great Ace Attorney duology, and then I'm playing these ones. So I'm sure if I went back and if I played them in release order, I'm sure that I would get some references back and forth between them, so but that's just the order that they came out, so I just played them in the order because I never played the original games. This include enough time to wash our hands. See that you take no more than 3 minutes. All latecomers will be punished. Yes, sir. I hereby declare a 3-minute recess before the battle begins. Declare Prosecutor Blackwood the winner of this round of Simon Says. Doesn't bode well for us if the prosecutor is running the show, does it? Yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't think it matters too much, I guess outside of references to things. I'm not necessarily looking for references, but it's nice to have, like, something there, I guess. Because technically the Great Ace Attorney games came out last, and even the Phoenix Wright crossover happened a couple of years after those games came out, so maybe there's some sort of tie-over or something with those. April 18, 10:40 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. I'm just hoping for a new Ace Attorney game, because we're getting a new Layton game after so many years, so a new Ace Attorney after so long would be good too, but Capcom seem to be distracted with a lot of the Resident Evil games. Like, they've already got 2 more remakes and Resident Evil 9 to come out. Street Fighter is still really popular. They've still got DLC for those coming out. Hey, keep in mind, Tokyo Game Show happens, soon. In a couple of weeks, isn't it? There's a chance that they could be there. They could announce something at a Tokyo Game Show. I believe that was where one of the, was that where one of the... No. Professor Layton was first announced at... Was it announced there? There was something in... it might have been at Gamescom last year, actually. Last year they might have announced the Layton game at... The Layton game was definitely at Tokyo Game Show last year. They announced it. Because that's coming out next year. But I kind of hope so. Busted out of his shackles. Yeah, what was that all about? Guess I don't make shackles like they used to. Better be careful, Apollo. Really brought the samurai in him. Especially after you proved there was a Temataro impersonator at the manor. What's with that guy in the whole samurai act anyway? Such fine swordsmanship. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it's high time I challenge this household prosecutor to a duel. Wait, actually, are we actually gonna do this? Blackwell versus Tenma in a duel in the courtroom. No, wait, let's save the duel until after we prove your innocence. Suppose it could wait till later? Does anyone remember we're conducting a trial here? I mean, at this point, I don't even know what this is. We've had, Hawks in the thing, a guy busting out of his shackles, a katana, the judge being bullied by the prosecutor, us being the Hawk bullying everyone in the court, we can't cheat anymore without perceived because, the Hawk's onto us, there's a lot going on. I think I'm gonna go wash up. Remember what Blackwell said, Apollo? Don't be late. April 18, 10:43 AM. District courtroom, no, District Court courtroom number 5, I think. 4? No, 4. 4. Now then, I believe our next witness is Miss Jixie Tenma, a maid at Kyubi Man. I believe we can proceed now, if the witness is ready, that is. Oh, here she is. Actually, we didn't check something. No, we did. We already checked the superstitions, didn't we? Yeah, we saw that earlier. But Neorion, leader of the 100 demons, he really does exist. Wow, that is one well-polished tray. Witness will show her face while in court, or her testimony will be inadmissible. What, did she just... She just put a warning charm over the judges. Be gone, Neorion, leader of the 100 demons. You think I'm a yokai? Well, I was once known as a judicial monster of sorts. The beast of the bar, the demon of due process, if you will. A charm has no effect! Demon of due process? Not sure I can see that one. Now, you little scamp. Yes? I trust you know why you're here. Bags? Bags? Oh, that Trixie Tanuki? Try the noodle stand. Go enjoy a big bowl of Tanuki tail noodles while you're at it. Everyone's a comedian. No, I meant your bags. The ones under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping. Here, this charm will keep Azuki-Arai away. Azuki-Arai? The yokai that washes Azuki beans? The only thing needing washing will be your father's neck before I take his head clean off. Azuki-Arai often keeps people up at night with the noise he makes washing beans. If you stick this charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore. Is that so? Well, thank you. Looks like Prosecutor Blackwell got more than he bargained for. They're bad enough alone, but together those two are just plain creepy. Your testimony, if you please, Miss Tenma. Specifically, whether or not you saw Tenmataro when you discovered the crime scene. Okay, what Jinxie saw? Did I see Tenmataro in the Fox Chamber? Well, when I opened the door, I saw, yes, now I remember. Yokai, right there in that room. So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime. Lots and lots of them. Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tamataro happen to be among them? I don't know, I just don't know. All I know is the room is swimming in yokai. Kasha, Nurikabe, Sanataisho, they're all there. Well, this is an unexpected turn of events. We've gone from no yokai to a flood of them. Yeah, I like all of the things as well. Again, every character feels like they have a personality. This case in particular, like, this case has had so many different characters. Like, it's like I was saying, we've got like the scared Shaggy type character, a wrestler, you know, the defendant who looks like he's super menacing but actually isn't. You know, Athena's a great character. Filch is you know, pilfering and stealing stuff. You know, we've got Fulbright's a superhero basically. And we've got the Joker, and we've got Blackwell, who is just an amazing prosecutor right now. We've got so many characters in this one case. Just so many of them. And the judge as well, because he also kind of counts. It's just ludicrous. And also, Taka, the hawk. You would have this court listen to this delusional little scamp's testimony? He doesn't want anything to do with, Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear. He does not want anything to do with the, the defense at all. A quick therapy session should ease your mind. With the court's permission, of course. What a fabulous idea. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. Sure you know what you're doing, Athena? She's obviously not herself. The trauma of discovering that crime scene. In fear of testifying, have her dazed and confused. Regular bowl of confusion. But my analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell? Shall we let Miss Sykes proceed? It makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any viable testimony. She'd be better served by bearing witness to the sword skills I forged in a distant land. I'll show you. Okay, mood matrix time. Alright, time for the mood matrix. Let's see if we can get this. Oh, she's all over the fritzes. Oh, she's only experiencing sadness the entire time. So, like, what is it? There's happy... Oh, thank you for stopping by. I was in your stream earlier today, so thank you for... Thank you for stopping by, though. Greatly appreciate it. Did I see Tamatara in the Fox Chamber? Oh, this is her just repeating her... Everything is sad. I'm doing very well. I'm still on the grind for affiliate, but we're getting there. It's a little bit of a shorter stream today. I wanted to go a bit longer, but YouTube was not really doing that great. But yeah, enjoying the case. We're doing the second trial of the second game. It's very, very wacky. Oh, these are all the... Wait a second, this is different. I'm doing, but outside of that, I'm doing pretty well. Just been grinding away, and at least this is a little bit of a shorter stream because these last couple of streams have been very, very long. Found something. Looks like an out of control emotion. now what exactly are we looking at? Oh, this is one of the widget's functions. Right here you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice. I mean, that little thing can do all this. But how have you been? I saw that you got you had a few people in stream as well. Pretty cool, huh? Here I thought it was just some kid's toy. Fortunately, all I'm getting is an overflow error right now. Yeah, she's just overflowing in, what were the four, okay, what were the four, feelings again? It was, happy, top left was happiness, top right was, anger? Bottom left was sadness, and then the bottom right was surprise, I think. See how sad is brightly lit up there at the bottom left? She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. Since the sheer terror she experienced, it's made her a confused mess. So all these yokai she thinks she saw are prompt to rampant emotions? Yes, that's right. Her fear is instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. Seeing normal everyday objects and monsters in her mind. It's a form of schizophrenic hallucination brought on by emotional trauma. The trauma in Jinx's case is fear. She was and still is seeing ordinary objects as yokai. I'll have to find the root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Now let's see. Okay, so it's a bunch of yokai. Holly, can you point out the yokai on the wheel of... Can you point out the yokai on the wheel of fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. Stop by pressing Pro. Oh, okay, so this is more interaction now. So before we had to just select the statement and say, hey, this is why you're feeling sad. Now we're getting the actual imagery and it's telling us, hey, pick a certain area and then probe it. I guess. Hang on a second, I'm going to check something. There's might be something wrong with my internet. Weird. I thought there was something wrong with my game. I thought there was something wrong with the actual PlayStation, but no, it must have just been slight delay thing. It's fine. Fix it in a sec. Anyway. Okay, so next, point to what's causing Jinxie's out of control emotion. Finally, hit probe again to try to get to the heart of the matter. Okay, let's give this a try. So, interesting that won't let me just press L1. Oh, okay. So you just press L, so we have the matrix. It does the stuff with the feelings, and then after you've done the stuff with the feelings, it then, if there's like an animated scene like this, I guess you can pick between the different options, so... This looks like it's something to do with the room, because, yeah, this is something to do with the room that they were in, the room with the murder, because there was a wall, obviously, there was the wall, and then there was the two couple monsters. We've got a fireball ghost. We've got a raccoon dog. And we have a cat monster on a wheel of fire, which is the one that they were telling us to press. So, we'll press that.
Got it!
I like this little, this little bit. You can see, what's the name for that yokai on a wheel of fire? That's Akasha! A yokai that steals the bodies of the recently deceased. But it can't steal the aldermans. It's almost creepy how well that fits the actual situation. Exactly, it's a form of hallucination where the patient can't see things for what they are. There must be something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaken for Akasha. Probably need to point out where, what she thought was a yokai on a wheel of fire. I think I know the answer now. You can see that wasn't Akasha you saw. Could you have possibly mistaken this for Akasha? It would have been the, So yeah, I was correct. Yeah, I am correct. It was exactly like the room. So if we go around the room... for example, what were the things that she saw? She saw a war monster, which might imply this. She saw, she saw the... It's obviously gotta be this, because it's got the lantern... Oh, not the lantern. The chandelier, or the light fixture, whatever you want to call it. There was two, they said it was cup monsters, didn't they say? But they're not really, these aren't really cups. And then I remember there were some statues over here. I was assuming that it was like the... That must be what it is. All those things were a representation of this room. So obviously you got the war monster. These I'm presuming are the cups, and then maybe something over here, because there were some things here that I remember them mentioning, and then the light fixture itself, so...
Take that!
Yeah. The light fixture. This one right here. It's a flame design and it's up there on the ceiling. There was never a yokai on the wheel of fire. The cars you saw was just a light fixture. Might end stream soon, actually, because of, I think we're, like, nearly at the end of this, like, section. It doesn't seem like we're going to be solving the, thing soon. Was intended to go a bit longer, but I'm running out of time, so I'll just, like, once we get to the 2 hours, I'll probably, like, start wrapping things up. It's one memory back to normal. Nice job. Now that you've got the hang of it, it should be a cinch to point out the rest. Jinxie, what about this new white wall-like monster? That's the Rakabe! It's a wall monster that blocks your way or leads you astray! That's no yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen. Okay. This raccoon dog isn't a Tanuki monster, it's just a statue of one. And look, these are just coffee cups. And this right here, something more than a fox statue. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, I love when the themes kick in. Like, you get your normal themes, and then all of a sudden, like, when the crucial evidence is given, or when something else is given, it's like, oh, you get the theme. You get, all sorts of themes. It's like, hey, we're about to get onto something. You did it, Apollo. Extreme fear is under control now. It was all just my eyes playing tricks on me. There weren't any yokai after all. See a clear-cut statement. It's the power of my psychology, your intuition, Apollo. Just like we thought. There never really were any yokai in the Fox Chamber. Right, there never really were any yokai there. So the defense is asserting the exact opposite of their original assertion. There's your weight. Jinxie, what about Tenmataro? There wasn't anyone there dressed up as Tenmataro, or any other yokai either. I remember it clearly now. You've gotta be joking. Yep. I love these parts where it's like, even when the prosecutor does it, Edgeworth did it so well in his game where he plays into everything that you're doing and then he's like, oh, but I have this to prove that this happens. And it's like, oh, okay. Thank you, Edgeworth. Order in the court. If we just take our own grave. Allow me to push you on it. It's the least I could do. Oh, look, I instantly little freak out for just a minute. I'm still picking up some noise. Alright. I did say that once I got to the 2-hour point, I would stop for today. And I think this is a good point to stop. I'm going to leave everybody on a cliffhanger. I'm going to leave everyone on a cliffhanger to see what happens next. I'm going to leave everyone on the cliffhanger. We're going to solve, hopefully, if I get enough time tomorrow, which I should, because I shouldn't have to upload this video, or it's not going to even take that very long to upload, because it's only very short. We're going to leave it on a cliffhanger, and we're going to solve the rest of this mystery next stream. And, yeah, hopefully we get to the bottom of what's happening, because I think we're going to get to a second day of the trial, because now we're about to get into the thick of things. How are we going to, we still haven't even gotten into the point with LaBelle. Like, we know who killed, that's the thing, we know who killed the Alderman. We haven't even reached the point where we started questioning him yet. And we haven't got there. So, we're about to have our, have everything thrown back on us again, because, you know, we get the cool theme and all, but, we also, have the, you know, Blackwell is going to be right onto us. He is, no longer contained by the shackles of, the law. His, Hawk is, on the prowl looking for any perceptions and, attacking the witnesses and attacking the judge and attacking us, and, yeah, he is going to be on the ball when it comes to these, accusations and these things. He is, after this case, I mean, he is, all of the characters are just very good. Like, there's the back and forth constantly, all these other things that have been happening. He is on the ball. And just when you think that we have all the answers, they change the questions. Now we, yeah, it's not yokai. So if it wasn't yokai, what was it that she was seeing? And what else are we going to be in for? I think this is going to a second day. Like, I think this is going to go to a second trial. Guess we'll have to see where we do in the theme. So, yeah. If we can upload this... Well, I think regardless of whether I upload this today or tomorrow, I should be able to stream for a lot longer, because this won't take long to upload. Usually, 2-hour videos take less than an hour to upload them to YouTube, so that won't take all that long. So yeah, we'll end it for here today. I wanted to go a bit longer, but again, YouTube was like, hey, you're uploading this video, and then it decided to add an extra 1 hour and 10 minutes onto my streaming time, onto my upload time, so it is what it is. Can't really do much about it. We'll just deal with that as it goes, and at least this time I don't have to worry about that, so it's a shorter video. We'll just see how that goes. So yeah, with all that being said, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Every like, comment, subscription of this video gets monetization. Some more content for everyone. The content will consistently easy to find. I upload my past Plat as well as Let's Plays and Let's Plats to the YouTube channel. So I have the games list for all the games, and we have all the games list for all of the games that I've played so far, all the upcoming games to buy, all the DLCs and games that I still have to play as well. All my speedrun stuff, all in neatly organized playlists on YouTube. All of my links, I have to wait another 2 months. I have to wait probably like a month and a half or a month for those to get fixed on YouTube, because they decided to take my advanced features away, even though I've been using their thing for 2 years, and they didn't really give me a reason why. So we'll just go with that and hope that it is okay. I upload everything to YouTube because I only have 7 days of my VODs being active on Twitch before they're deleted permanently, and I don't want to lose any story progression or any parts of videos. So they're all there if anyone missed anything, and they can watch from there. I upload my working more Plat past segments of games we have the Plat Trophy for, switching things up segments of games on the Switch. Octopath Traveler Gadara Experience, Pokemon Nuzlocke, and trying to speedrun. I want to keep doing those. I'm still working on the live notes. There's a couple of more changes that have happened recently, so I have to get up to date on those. Some of good notes I've been working on as well. I tried working on it yesterday, but I ran out of time. Octopath Traveler individual level speedruns are coming as well. We'll just have to see how that goes with those as well. Just get a notification when live watching on YouTube. Follow my Twitch at 200 followers, doing live challenge speedruns. So 0 kills and 100 kills ninja, or Speedo Japan. And also probably the Orsted boss rush is what I wanted to do. So very close to reaching affiliate, so my channel will soon be monetized. I can make emotes and subscription stuff, and what else is there? Channel point redemptions and all sorts of stuff that I'm looking forward to trying out to see how I can get more interactivity with the channel, more viewer interaction as well. And you also get a notification when garbage on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter to be notified when I go live. I'm on Discord. I will send you an invite to my friend's Discord server, close to 2,000 members. Still going strong. Gaming Circle as well. I'm very active there, and you'll also get a notification from there as well. And finally, if you want to know my stream overlay that I use on all my future content going forward, you can find a link down below in the description of that as well. So as always, before I get out of here, I always make sure to raid. Ace, are you streaming at the moment? Because if you are, I will happily give you the raid. If you would like that. Otherwise, I'll just see if there's anyone else that's online. Not tonight? Okay. Well, let's see if there's anyone that I'm following. Let's see. I'm finishing a little early today, but really there's no one online. You just like watching me play? Oh, that's nice. I liked watching you play as well. Let's see who else is online. You know what? Is there anyone playing this game? Let's see if there's anyone playing these, because I like to watch other people react to these. I need to make sure what thing they're on, because there's a chance that I'm not trying to avoid anything that would be like. Let's see. Let me check. Which chapter is this? I have no clue which chapter this is. It's probably further ahead than me, but I mean, I don't really mind because I'm just raiding anyway. Okay. Let's do this. So I do like watching this. I do like watching other people react to this game. So I will send everyone over to someone else who's playing this game, and I don't know which one they're doing. It looks like this. I think is the. This might be the. This might be the second game. I think it is. From what I remember. I haven't played the second game yet. This is the second game at the moment. I think this is the DLC case for the second game. Because I do know, I do know of the, the meme that formed the case, but, I will send everyone over to this instead. Make sure it's actually spelled correctly, because that's actually not right. So, yeah, this works. Thank you everyone for watching, once again. Why is this not, that is correct. Thank you everyone for watching, and with all that being said, for the day out with you are, and I will see you all later. The meme, it's, I don't know if you played the second, case. The DLC case for the second game. I keep seeing it all online when people talk about the thing, that, you know, he defended, I don't know if you played the second case or not. It's kind of like a meme, I guess, or a joke amongst the community. You haven't? Okay, well then I shouldn't spoil it then. I got spoiled by that because I was looking at the stuff, but yeah, this might have spoilers, so just be wary of that. But I'll still raid them anyway because I want to support more people that are playing these games, and I like to watch people play these games as well. So yeah, just keep an eye out. Like this case is a spoiler technically, like for the DLC. So yeah, I'll raid them anyway, but you don't have to watch anyway. So, but thank you for watching anyway. So see everyone in the next stream.